There's a fruit sitting in kitchens right now across Asia, Africa, Latin America, and increasingly in grocery stores in the West, and almost everyone who buys it throws away the most medically interesting part. Not the skin, not the leaves, the seeds. I'm a physician and researcher, and I want to talk to you today about something that genuinely surprised me when I went through the literature, because papaya seeds are not folk medicine speculation. There are peer-reviewed studies published in journals of agricultural chemistry, oncology, and nephrology, documenting bioactive compounds in those small black seeds that act on your liver, your kidneys, your immune system, and even cancer cell lines. The mechanism is specific. The compound is real, and the dosing actually matters, which is why I want to be precise with you today. The compound 045-230. Let's start with the science, because this is where it gets fascinating. Papaya seeds contain a compound called benzyl glucosinolate. On its own, it's relatively inert, but the moment you crush, chew, or grind a papaya seed, an enzyme called myrosinase activates, and it converts benzyl glucosinolate into something called benzyl isothiocyanate. That conversion is the key. Benzyl isothiocyanate, or BITC, is the same class of compound found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and wasabi. But research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that papaya seeds contain it in concentrations comparable to the hottest Japanese white radish. Seeds carry the highest concentration, followed by the peel, followed by the pulp itself. You've been eating the weakest part of the fruit. This compound is responsible for nearly everything remarkable about papaya seeds: the anti-parasitic effects, the antibacterial properties, the anti-cancer activity, and cell studies. The seeds also contain papain, a proteolytic enzyme, along with vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, and iron. Now here's what actually happens when you begin consuming them consistently. Day by day, 2:30, 10 o'clock, day 1, the digestive reset within hours of your first serving, papain begins working in your gut. This enzyme breaks down protein structures, not just the food you eat, but the protective coatings that certain bacteria, fungi, and intestinal parasites use to survive. Research suggests that the proteolytic enzymes in papaya seeds actively shift the intestinal environment, reducing pathogenic microbes while supporting the conditions where beneficial bacteria thrive. Most people notice this quickly: less bloating, more regularity, a gut that feels quieter. This isn't a placebo, it's enzymatic. Day 2, your liver wakes up by day 2. Something is happening in your liver that is worth understanding. Papaya seeds activate a liver enzyme pathway called cytochrome P450. This is your body's primary chemical processing system, the mechanism your liver uses to neutralize toxins, metabolize medication, and filter the biological waste that accumulates from everyday living. The flavonoids and polyphenols in the seeds also provide antioxidant protection to liver cells themselves, shielding them from free radical damage while supporting regeneration of healthier cells. There is clinical documentation here. Studies have reported meaningful improvement in patients with liver cirrhosis who consume 5 papaya seeds, fresh or dried, twice daily for 1 month. That's a low dose with a measurable outcome in one of medicine's more difficult conditions. Day 3, the kidneys. By day 3, the kidneys are the focus. An alkaloid in papaya seeds called carpine has been studied for its chelating properties, meaning it binds to certain toxins and facilitates their excretion through urine. Research has documented nephroprotective effects, including protection against oxidative stress in kidney tissue. Researchers have specifically investigated papaya seeds in the context of kidney poisoning and early renal dysfunction, and the results have been promising enough to warrant continued study. You may notice improved urinary output and reduced water retention during this phase. Day 4, immune recalibration. Day 4 is where the systemic anti-inflammatory effect becomes noticeable. Chronic inflammation is medicine's slow emergency. It underlies cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, neurodegeneration, and cancer. And most of us are living with measurable levels of it without realizing it. The polyphenols and BITC in papaya seeds have been shown in multiple studies to suppress pro-inflammatory signaling pathways. The result is an immune system that isn't constantly firefighting. The antibacterial and antiviral properties become relevant here too. Studies have explored papaya seeds' activity against the organisms responsible for conditions including dengue and malaria. Day 5, the anti-cancer mechanism. This is the part of the research I find most striking, and I want to be careful to present it accurately. In laboratory studies on liver cancer cell lines, papaya seed extract demonstrated an IC50 value of approximately 24 micrograms per milliliter. That's the concentration at which it inhibited 50% of cancer cell growth. The mechanism involved downregulation of BCL2, an anti-apoptotic gene that cancer cells use to survive, while upregulating P53 and caspase-3, which are regulators of programmed cell death. Similar activity has been documented against colorectal cancer cell lines. These are cell studies, not clinical trials. That distinction matters. But the mechanism is specific, the results are reproducible, and they point toward a pathway worth serious continued investigation. Day 6, blood sugar and metabolism. By day 6, people managing blood sugar often report something they weren't expecting: stability. Papaya seeds have a low glycemic index and are rich in fiber, two factors that slow glucose absorption and blunt the spike and crash cycle that drives insulin resistance over time. The flavonoids contribute antioxidant protection to pancreatic beta cells. Fermented papaya preparations have been specifically studied for their ability to modulate oxidative damage in the context of diabetes management. The fiber, protein, and healthy fats in the seeds also contribute to appetite regulation and more consistent energy throughout the day without stimulants. Day 7, cardiovascular protection. By day 7, the cardiovascular benefits that have been building throughout the week reach their most complete expression. The antioxidants protect arterial walls from oxidative damage. The anti-inflammatory compounds reduce chronic vascular inflammation, one of the primary drivers of atherosclerosis. The potassium content supports blood pressure regulation. The monounsaturated fatty acids in the seeds support healthy cholesterol balance. Your heart has been working every moment of these 7 days. By day 7, it's working in a better environment. How to actually do this? 10 o'clock, 12:30. Now, preparation matters. This is where most people either get no benefit or accidentally get too much too fast. Dosing: start with 5 to 10 fresh seeds per day, roughly half a teaspoon. This is not a case where more is automatically better. Build gradually. Activation: remember that crushing or grinding the seeds is what triggers the enzymatic conversion that produces BITC. Whole seeds swallowed without chewing may deliver less therapeutic activity. Grind them in a pepper mill, crush them in a mortar and pestle, or chew them thoroughly. For liver support specifically, half a teaspoon of dried ground seeds mixed with a tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon or lime juice and water, taken twice daily. The acidity from citrus appears to complement the liver supportive compounds. Palatability: they're bitter, genuinely bitter. Adding them to a smoothie masks both taste and texture. A small amount of honey works. You can also use them as a pepper substitute in cooking. Storage: rinse fresh seeds, dry them on paper towels, and store in an airtight container. They freeze well in small portions using an ice cube tray. Safety: 12:30, 13:30. I want to be direct about the precautions. Pregnant women should not consume papaya seeds. The compounds may stimulate uterine contractions. This is not a gray area. Avoid entirely during pregnancy and breastfeeding. Animal studies have shown that high doses of papaya seed compounds can temporarily reduce sperm count and motility. These effects reverse within 45 days of stopping, but men actively trying to conceive should consult their physician first. Children under 6 should not consume papaya seeds without medical supervision. The antiparasitic compounds are potent enough to cause gastrointestinal distress in young children. Excessive intake can cause stomach cramps, nausea, and diarrhea. There are also documented interactions with blood thinners, certain cardiac medications, and antibiotics. If you're on medication, check with your doctor. Start low. Observe your response. The dose makes the medicine. Close to 13:30, 14:30. There is something philosophically interesting about the fact that the most therapeutically active part of a papaya is the part we've been discarding for generations. Myrosinase. These aren't invented. They're isolated, studied, replicated. The research exists, and the entry cost is almost nothing. A single papaya from any market on earth. What I find compelling isn't just the individual compounds, it's the pattern. Food as a system. A fruit that packages its most powerful chemistry in the part that looks like waste. If you found this useful, the most meaningful thing you can do is share it with one person in your life who takes their health seriously. That's how good information travels. And if you want to keep going deeper into the science of what we eat and how it affects us at the cellular level, this channel is where I do that work. Subscribe if that's the conversation you want to be part of. I'll see you in the next one.